guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today we are going to study about the introduction of sequence, and of course we are going to discuss as well the difference between a finite sequence and infinite sequence. So please try to understand the video, and if you have more questions, please ask me and I'll try to help you, okay?
Everyone. Today we are going to study about sequence, the terms in a sequence, and the difference between finite and infinite sequence. So maybe some of you are asking, what is sequence? So sequence is an ordered set of numbers. So I'll give you an example of a sequence. So in this example, as you can see, we have 3, comma, 5, comma, 7, comma, 9, comma, and the three symbols, the three dots, it represent continuity of the sequence. Now in sequence, you should know the basic terms that we always apply. So you can answer questions later when it comes to, for example, if I have a question like what is our first term, what is our second term, well, you can definitely get it. So our first term, or in mathematical notation, that will be a sub 1, but you can read it as a1. So our a1 is 3, second term, or a2, that will be 5, the third term, or A3, is 7, and fourth term, or A4, is 9. And as you can see here, the three dots, we can have it, we can express it in mathematical notation, which is A sub n or AN, because we do not know what will be the last term in this sequence. Okay, so much for the basic introduction of sequence. Let's proceed to the next slide where you can identify the first term, second term, and so on. So let's proceed. So I have here the table. We have 6 examples. So in the first column is sequence, the second column will be the first term, or A1, the third column is second term, or A2, and the last term is AN, and then there is the last question, how many terms do we have in a specific sequence? So in the first example, we have 1 over 3, comma, 2 over 9, comma, 3 over 27, comma, 4 over 81. So as you can see here, that a sequence is always separated by a comma. Okay, so in the first um, row, for column, first term A1, that will be 1. Oh, sorry, let's click all the examples first. I'm sorry about that. Okay, A1 would be 1 over 3, A2, that will be 2 over 9, and the last term will be 4 over 81. So how many terms do we have in the first example? So let's count them: 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 terms. So this considered as the value of n. N is equals to 4. So because we have 4 terms. Now for the second example, the first term is 20, the second term is 25, the last term is 40, and then how many terms do we have? Let's count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 terms. Okay, let's proceed to letter C. So the same manner, our first term, or A1, will be 1, our second term, that will be 3, and the last term, which we don't know because this is an infinity or infinite sequence. So you just have to write, we don't know. Okay, so how many terms do we have? How many terms do we have in letter C? So of course, since it's infinite sequence, we do not know as well. So you just have to write, we don't know. So let's proceed to letter D. Our first term is 0. Our second term is -1. The last term will be -7. And how many terms do we have? Let's count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 terms. So you have to write 8. Now, next example for letter E, we have the first term, which is 5, second term will be 5a over 2, and the last term we do not know because it is an infinite sequence. So you just have to write we don't know. And of course, for the last column, how many terms we don't know as well. Okay, so let's proceed to the letter F. So first term is 8, second term or A2 will be 0.8. The last term is we don't know because it is an infinite sequence. And how many terms as well? So that will be the same. We don't know as well. Okay, so I think these six examples are easy to understand, but if you don't get it all, just ask me a questions. I mean, if you can send me a message and I will try to help you. Okay, so let's proceed to the next slide. The next slide is we are going to discuss a finite and infinite sequence. Okay, so I think it's very easy to identify the difference between finite and infinite sequence. So I'll just give you very easy examples types of sequence. So I'll just go ahead rather to I'll just go ahead and provide examples. So number one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, and then dot dot dot. So since there is a dot 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 sign, it means it is infinite sequence. It is an infinite sequence. Now the second example, we have 20, 25, 30, 35, and dot dot dot. So it's another infinite sequence because we cannot count how many terms we have here, right? So let's proceed to number three. We have 1, 3, 5, 7. Now this is an example of a finite sequence. Why? Because we can count the terms in this example. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 terms. Okay, so let's proceed in for number four rather. Okay, for number four, we have 4, 3, 2, 1. This is also a finite sequence. Okay, because we can count how many terms we have. For number five, definitely it is infinite sequence because of the three dot symbols, right? For number six, we use the English alphabet. So we have A, B, C, D, E, and then there is no dot, dot, dot. So it means that this is a finite sequence. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. Okay, for number seven, this is also a finite sequence. We have S, J, E, E, K, A, R, N. Okay, so this is a finite sequence. For the last example, we have 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, then dot dot dot. So since this example has three dots symbols, it means it is considered as infinite sequence. Okay, so I think we are good with finite and infinite sequence. However, if you still have a hard time understanding the topic, you just need to send me a message and I will try to help you. Okay. Now, actually, um, vi- um, I already uploaded videos in the website in e-learning. And let's go ahead and proceed here. Hold on a second. There you go. So this is now our course. You just have to log in your website, in your account. So you have here the topic, the week one topic one, introduction of sequences. And I have here also the notes where you can read the same with my PowerPoint presentation. I also have here the examples, the PDF of finite and infinite sequence, and I provided a homework or assignment which you have to download it, and once you are done answering your assignment you have to send it back in PDF form, again in PDF form, because I am not going to accept it if it is in Microsoft Word. Okay, so try your best to understand the topic. However, again, if you are still confused, do not be afraid to send me a message or ask me questions. Okay.